Good Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us for Unscripted here on Up North Live. We've made it to the midweek point. We have a lot of news headlines from across northern Michigan to get to. But first, taking a look at what we could expect outside today, we toss things over to Chief Meteorologist Joe Charlevoix. Joe, it seemed decently quiet today, and it was nice to see the sunshine. Yeah, there was a little bit kind of filtered through some of those clouds, but it was a nice day today. And temperatures about where they should be for this time of the year. Looking ahead here, Melissa, it does stay relatively quiet over the next several days up to about Thanksgiving. Okay, you're saying consistent temperatures it looks like we're going to be having. Yeah, pretty much 40s each day. Okay. Maybe, Monday close to 50, if not a little over for some spots. But here's the thing, the caveat to all that is when we get to Thanksgiving, about a week from now, there are some signs at least that we're going to see some much colder weather coming in, and of course that may kick up some lake effect snow right around when we get to the holiday. So we'll take a look at all that and have much more in the forecast a little later. In headline news today, we are continuing to find out as much as we can about last weekend's deadly shooting in Traverse City. Suspects Eugene Thompson and Hunter Vanderwall were arraigned on murder charges yesterday. Traverse City police tell us that right now they're dotting I's and crossing T's as they continue to build their timeline of where and what Thompson and Vanderwall were doing Saturday. Our Ellie Baxter has been gathering more information on this case. She joins us live now. Ellie, thanks for joining us. Where does the investigation stand at this point? What do we know right now?
Yeah, Melissa, well, normally after the arraignment, as with any kind of investigation, things tend to slow down just a little bit, and especially in terms of the investigation. It definitely hasn't slowed down for Traverse City Police at all, but this is the stage that they get to where it's a lot of gathering. It's a lot of filling out search warrants. It's a lot of, we use the phrase a lot, building a timeline of the movements of Thompson and Vanderwall, before they got to that parking garage that night. So that's really where they are right now. They're really they have a ton of evidence, but really it's all about putting it all together, seeing what needs to be analyzed. And really the biggest update that we have today is that some of the evidence that they've collected already, and we do have some exclusive video that was sent to us from Saturday night of some of the evidence being collected. We know so far that they have brought, or today they were supposed to bring some of that evidence over to the Michigan State Police Crime Lab in Grayling. And so detectives were supposed to go over there, have some evidence that is set to be analyzed by state police. That's just one example of some of the collaboration that has to be done in order to get some of the evidence presented later in court.
A lot of details, a lot of steps that go into this, obviously. Allie, speaking of that, what are the next steps with this case?
Yeah, so as far as like the legal side of the case, they're going to be having a probable cause conference in district court. That's not normally something that's going to be like out in the open. It's mostly just attorneys meeting, but really when maybe we could have some more information about what happened that night could be the preliminary examination for both Thompson and Vanderwall. A lot of times the prosecuting attorney will come in and present some evidence about, why this case deserves to be bound over to circuit court. That's really kind of the process of how things start to move forward. So on the legal side of things, that's kind of where the next steps are. And I do believe both of those legal dates are coming up probably in early December, mid-December. It's possible they could get pushed back. We do see that sometimes with bigger cases where the attorneys will meet and say, hey, based on what I have so far, we're going to kick this down the road a little bit. We're going to address this maybe early January 2026. We haven't seen any of those dates moved yet. So right now we are planning and anticipating a early December, mid-December legal process moving forward. But as far as the investigation, we know that Traverse City Police, Michigan State Police, the Sheriff's Office, they all met and they had a debrief of, what do we have? What else do we need to get? What are the gaps that we need to fill in? And they said any gaps that they do need to fill in, they have a ton of video evidence for. So they'll use that video evidence to really help build a timeline of the movements of Thompson and Vanderwall so that they are able to present a lot of that to the prosecuting attorneys so that they can use that in that preliminary examination.
And Allie, are police, law enforcement looking for, if people do have any other details or if they were in the area that night for, any tips about this ongoing investigation?
You're right, Melissa. That was something that you and I actually discussed a couple of nights ago. Are they still, putting this call out, asking for any information? They still haven't said that yet. I imagine once they do kind of look at everything that they have, and if they see like any, even if it's maybe a 5-minute time frame where they have a gap in time that they want to make sure that is accounted for, I imagine that they will maybe put out a community call out saying, hey, do you have any ring camera video? We think this was their path that night. I know a lot of times they do also have officers during the day go up and do some door knocking and ask if there is any ring cameras in the area. And of course, that's just one example of ring cameras. It's kind of the easiest example for me to pull from. But right now, they haven't made that request yet. But of course, just as we discussed a couple of nights ago, if you feel like you heard or saw anything that you feel like would be valuable for this investigation, I say definitely reach out to Traverse City Police and let them know what you know.
All right. Sounds good. Allie, thank you for those latest developments in this ongoing investigation. Again, that was our Allie Baxter reporting on the homicide taking place in Traverse City on Saturday. For a complete timeline and more details on this ongoing investigation and the case, you can head to our website, UpNorthLive.com. In developing news out of Charlevoix County, 14 people are displaced tonight after a fire at the Elvin Lee Lodge in Walloon Lake. And now the Red Cross and the Salvation Army are helping people who lost their homes. Up North Live's Mary Jane Glynn brings us the latest on those efforts.
You can see that the inside of the former Old Boyne Valley Lodge is dark and charred. The windows broken and parts of the roof caved in.
My daughter called me this morning. I had left to take people to work, and she called and said the building was on fire. So I looked on the cameras because I have a camera on my phone that connects here, and I seen fires shooting out the hallway by my office, and it burned the camera up instantly.
The manager said she immediately called one of the tenants inside of the lodge to let her know the building was on fire.
The building was on fire. I didn't believe her, but she said it was. I went and I could smell it, and so I started banging on everybody's doors, and we all got out, and here we are.
We're told that there are 11 units and 14 people that live there.
There was actually 3 sections to the lodge, and it was the whole end towards the neighbors down there is all burned up, and the roof caved in. The whole dining room that is the main entrance is the ceiling just like fell through.
Residents were told to go to the Walloon Lake Community Church for immediate shelter. The Red Cross and Salvation Army are helping the families tonight. In Walloon Lake, Mary Jane Glynn, Up North Live News.
And we're told the once historic lodge transitioned to workforce housing. The Melrose Township Fire Chief says the cause of that fire is still under investigation. Red tape. There's a reason a lot of people like to cut through it. Sometimes it makes things easier, more efficient, even more reasonable. Lawmakers in Lansing are launching an effort to do a little cutting. 80 bills to be introduced to cut what they say is a lot of red tape. One of those tape cutting bills, introduced by a Northern Michigan lawmaker, has to do with cutting your hair. Our Mark Gillette reports.
Frankly, we're overgrown with red tape, so we've got to try and cut that the best we can.
Cutting the red tape. It's a new push underway in Lansing by Republicans to try and address what they say are, quote, burdensome and unnecessary regulations impeding growth and progress in Michigan, end quote.
Right now, we are not competitive.
State Representative Parker Fairbairn's proposed cut has to do with another cut.
I think it's a positive step in the right direction.
He's introduced this, House Bill 4927, which would mean fewer hours of training and experience required to become a barber in our state.
My bill would change the licensing requirements in terms of the hours from 1,800 down to 1,500 hours.
Getting barbers cutting hair 300 hours quicker and more in line with our neighboring states.
We're not making Michigan the Wild West in terms of regulatory structure, but we're bringing it to parity and in some cases making Michigan a lot more competitive.
This is about cutting hair, but it's an example of a greater movement being launched in Lansing.
This is just the first phase of that, about an 80 bill package that we're doing right now, and there's much more we can do. But we actually worked with the department on this, Lara, and we're able to get these changes, and they found them to be satisfactory, which is good when we're having the department in agreement on this.
And that may not be all that the Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs, or Lara, is in agreement on. In February of this year, they released a significant report on Michigan's red tape. The executive director saying, quote, Lara is committed to reducing barriers to licensure and providing efficient, effective, and timely services to all Michiganders, end quote. In the report, 80 recommendations from Lara on ways to still protect people but also promote businesses in Michigan. recommendations that, like Representative Fairbairn's, will require in some cases teamwork to address. Laura explaining, quote, "We've done significant work to advance these goals, and we look forward to continued partnership with Governor Whitmer, the legislature, and our stakeholders to protect people and promote business throughout our great state," end quote. This is about cutting hair, but the push will extend far beyond that.
Every industry you can think of in Michigan, all business, and we're looking to do this across the board, across the whole state.
With the goal of making it easier for those who live here now and those that maybe hopefully choose to in the future.
These states that are growing in population, they're creating a very good tax policy. They're creating very good energy policy and a good regulatory space, and that attracts business.
And that was our Mark Gillette reporting. The bill was just introduced and still has a long way to go, but of course we will keep track of the progress. Switching gears now, we're looking ahead to the holiday festivities happening in Traverse City this weekend. The downtown holiday tree was delivered on Monday. The 40-foot blue spruce is 3,800 pounds with 4,000 lights. And this Saturday, Santa himself will arrive in Traverse City to help kick off those festivities with the tree lighting starting at 6 p.m. and the light parade kicking off at 6:30. People can gather on Cass and Front Street to watch the 50 decorated floats.
It's a great holiday tradition because it connects all of our neighbors and gives us something to feel good about as we start the holiday season. It provides connection and joy and a feeling of peace.
And if you can't make it to the event on Saturday, you can watch it live as it happens on UpNorthLive's Facebook page, YouTube channel, or X. UpNorthLive's Brendan Kinney and meteorologist Heather Bricka will welcome in the season starting at 6 p.m. Well, 'tis the season for those holiday tree lightings and those festive events all across northern Michigan. And that brings us to our question of the day. Do you plan on attending a tree lighting ceremony or a festivity this year? Let us know when and where you plan on going. If this is maybe a tradition of you, of what you do with your family, let us know. You can check out our Facebook page, Up North Live, and our website, UpNorthLive.com. You can also scan the QR code on your screen as well. And of course, we'll check out those responses coming up later on Unscripted. A brand new room is available for guests to stay during the holidays at Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. In tonight's Exploring Michigan, our Madison Stoddard takes us through the suite that you can book this season.
This may look like an ordinary hotel room on the outside, but inside it's filled with holiday cheer. The Grand Traverse Resort and Spa is unwrapping something new this holiday season, a fully transformed Santa suite designed to bring the magic of Christmas right to your stay.
You walk in, you see lights everywhere, multiple trees and nutcrackers and garland and ribbons and bows. So a lot of just really great holiday decor pieces that bring that warm and cozy feeling here at the resort for the holidays.
The suite isn't just decorated, it also gives families something to do together.
The room is complete with kids games, movies, old classics, DVD player. So we're really kind of going old school and giving you that home away from home for the holidays.
It's designed to be a cozy holiday escape. You can rent the space as a 1 or 2 bedroom suite.
You can have kids in one room, mom and dad in another, or if grandma and grandpa are coming, other friends, maybe a group of girlfriends or couples want to get away and experience this.
And the Christmas magic doesn't stop there. Santa will be making special appearances in his workshop here at the resort, giving families even more time to visit with him during their stay.
It's a great private room where Santa is every Saturday, starting the Saturday after Thanksgiving to the Saturday right before Christmas. So you have multiple weekends in a row to be able to come and see the big guy.
Guests can also take their holiday stay a step further by requesting a Christmas tree to be set up right inside their room.
We started putting Christmas trees in people's rooms. So if you were staying here for a night or a little extended stay, you could pay a little extra and have a fully decorated Christmas tree in your room. Kind of feel like you are home, but you're also away.
The Santa Suite is now open to book for the holiday season. Reporting for Exploring Michigan, I'm Madison Stoddard.
All right, definitely get you into the holiday spirit as we get closer. All right, stay right here on Unscripted. We'll take another look at that weather forecast coming up in just a bit.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Welcome back to Up North Live Unscripted. Of course, it is Wednesday. We want to check a look at the weather. It seems pretty quiet out there, but Joe, of course, has the latest on what we can expect as the week goes on.
Yeah, it is quiet, and up to Thanksgiving, pretty much, it's going to kind of stay that way. It doesn't mean it'll be completely dry, but from if you have travels, things like that, not too bad coming up here. There are the numbers right now, Melissa. Traverse City 38. Just about everybody is in the 30s. Newberry 32. The cold spot right now, that's Drummond Island at 29, just a couple degrees there below freezing. But again, nothing unusual for this time of the year. High pressure was in control. That led to a nice day today. We had dry weather, some sun filtered through clouds. Upstream, there isn't an area of low pressure and a cold front approaching from Minnesota now to western Lake Superior. Ahead of that, cloud cover, these clouds will continue to kind of drift overhead through the area tonight. We are not going to get any rain or snow here tonight. There's some approaching the western UP, and then much of Lake Superior, northern Lake Superior, you can see some rain there tonight. A few of these showers will start to arrive in northern Michigan later tomorrow into tomorrow evening. That being said, not much rain with this system, but we've got to have something to talk about, right? So cloudy skies, here come the showers tomorrow. This is mid-afternoon. Yeah, I can see a few of those around. Even through tomorrow night, that's as our cold front passes by. So a pretty cloudy, kind of a gray day tomorrow. Passing showers later in the day through tomorrow evening. And then Friday, lower Michigan dries out, but if you're in the UP and Straits, you might still see a lake effect rain or snow shower Friday afternoon into the evening. The numbers I mentioned in terms of rain, they are underwhelming. Again, not a lot. We might, in some spots such as Gaylord, Sault Ste. Marie, squeeze out maybe 1/10 of an inch of rain. And again, a lot of that would be tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, before that comes to an end. There's a look at the weekend. Again, the weekend before Thanksgiving, perhaps some people traveling, cloudy skies, a stray shower. Upper 30s, mid 40s. Saturday, kind of cloudy. And then Sunday, some spots close to 50. A few showers around Sunday. Again, nothing significant that would impact travel. And then this is Thanksgiving next week. You see that bubble of cold air? Look at the whole country. There's nowhere colder except Alaska, if this comes to fruition. But the thought right now is that we're going to have some colder air dropping down right around Thanksgiving. What that may do, we'll see maybe a few showers Tuesday and a Wednesday, is kick up some lake effect snow perhaps during the day on Thanksgiving. So that's something we'll keep an eye on right there. And then some of that may carry over into Friday. That would be, again, lake effect there. Tonight, we're looking at, again, 22 to 34, mostly cloudy, dry weather hangs on. And then tomorrow, scattered showers, highs in the 40s tomorrow. For northern Michigan, again, very little rain. We're not going to get a lot of accumulation out of that, but a cloudy sky. Our southern counties, just a shower possible. That's it. There's our look at. Nice day Friday for the most part, and then the weekend's quiet. Temperatures not budging much, at least through Wednesday, mainly in the 40s during this whole stretch, Melissa.
Not too bad.
No, not bad at all.
All right, thanks, Joe. Coming up, Sports Director Harrison Beebe has a breakdown of where things stand with the NBA and the NHL coming up after the break. Welcome back to Unscripted. We're bringing in sports director Harrison Beebe for a look at those sports highlights, including the NBA and the NHL. And if you see Harrison today, wish him a happy birthday.
Yes, please. Even online, do it.
Yes,
Comment on
do.
the YouTube video if you want. Do it even if you're watching this 2 months from now. Go ahead, wish me a happy birthday in January. That'd be great. Nice. Yeah, Melissa, kind of a slower day on the sports calendar. We're kind of in a lull between fall and winter sports at the moment. And good thing is we have a lot to talk about as far as Detroit sports go. Melissa, I'm sure you're aware, the Detroit sports scene outside of a couple years ago has been really lacking in production. And just to show you here how good things are looking in the NBA, take a look at that. Those are the best teams in the NBA right now. The Pistons 2 years ago were the worst team in the league. And here they are with the second best record to start this year. And the only team that's better than them is the reigning NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder, who also look just as good, if not better, than last year's team. So as far as teams we're comparing ourselves to, the Pistons looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and roll along with our graphics. Take a look at how the Red Wings are doing. Top 6 in points in the NHL at the moment. And the Red Wings are the biggie to pay attention to because while the Pistons, Tigers, and Lions have all been in the playoffs the last few years, we know the Wings are on that almost 10-year drought. It'll be 10 years if they don't make it this season because 2016 was the last time they were able to play for Lord Stanley's Cup in the spring. So hopefully that streak comes to an end this year. And kind of a long-term form this, Melissa. This is our cheat sheet that director Dan and I made earlier tonight. This is a list of every playoff appearance by each of the. It's hard to read, but all 4 Detroit sports teams are covered here. The Red Wings have the most, kind of on the far end here, followed by the Pistons, and then the Tigers and Red Wings are on the front end, or excuse me, the Lions and the Tigers are on this end. The trend here is to kind of point out. We've discovered there's been no calendar year ever where all 4 Detroit sports teams ever made the playoffs. And it's still a lot to ask for it to happen even in 2026 because it already can't happen here in 2025. But there's the potential if the Red Wings keep up this streak and the Pistons do and the Lions get back in the postseason, we could have, perhaps for the first time ever, all 4 Detroit sports teams from October to June make the postseason. We don't want to jinx it.
Right, of
here
course.
at my birthday, that's what I'm asking for.
Yeah.
Up to next June, let's get all 4 in. The Tigers already made it in October. Let's get the Lions, Pistons, and Red Wings next spring.
I like it, Harrison. Fingers crossed. That would be incredible. All right, stay with us. Coming up after the break, we're going to take a look at our question. Are you going to any holiday tree lightings this year? Let us know. Check out our Facebook page and our website.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
And welcome back. We are taking a look at that question of the day. Do you plan on attending any tree lighting ceremonies or really any holiday festive events this year around northern Michigan? Let us know. We would love to know what are some other areas that are hosting some holiday festivities. And thank you for tuning in tonight to Unscripted right here on Up North Live. Make sure to tune in later tonight for Up North Live News at 11. And until then, have a fabulous night.